Hey, welcome to the Sci-Fi Movies Podcast. I'm Drew.
I'm Cam.
And if you're a fan of ChatGPT, I'm not saying I am, but if you are, you're going to like this movie because we're talking about the 2014 film Ex Machina. And with us, we have a very special guest, Rashaad Jones.
Yeah.
How's it going? Where's the clap thing? We have a clap little sound effect that we...
Say it again.
Say what?
We have... Who do
We have Rashaad Jones.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
All right. Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, so I go by RJ. I am a sophomore year broadcast journalism major, and I'm a sports anchor at WEIU, and I just love to watch movies.
Love to watch.
You sure are at WEIU.
Loud.
We work together at WEIU, so we have a good time. Most of the time. If we do good, we have a good time.
Me and RJ get breakfast sometimes.
Do you really?
There's always so much chicken.
Yeah.
Always on Fridays.
So
always a good time.
this was your choice,
It was.
Ex Machina, and tell us, because I know you're in love with this movie. Tell us a little bit about why.
So, actually, the reason why I picked it this week was because I saw that Alex Garland, the director, said he was retiring from filmmaking after this next movie's coming out. I forget the name. That his next movie is coming. What his next movie is, Civil War. So I saw last night that, oh man, I was like, oh man, I like him because he did Annihilation as well.
He sure did.
I know
Didn't like that movie.
Yeah,
I've seen that movie.
I've never seen it.
It's something.
I really enjoyed it. And I saw it, I was like,
He does a lot of
Sci-Fi.
what's the word? Thought-provoking kind of films.
And I was like, man, Drew's about to leave, and this is Drew's last month.
It is.
Drew's last.
I would like to say that I am not hoping it is, but I am so washed in terms of like, I'm ready to. Ugh.
Drew's about to graduate.
Man, yeah.
So I was like, let's get the fun stuff out, or try and think.
Cut the fat.
Yeah, let's get. And I love this movie. I think it's one of my favorite sci-fis. And I actually wrote a review on it last February. If you want to go read it,
Plug.
cheap plug, shameful plug. So go read that. And I really like it because I watched it when I was younger, and this was advanced technology, but it's crazy because it's happening today. People are falling in love with their phones, and you can see that in Her, which we also talked about, another shameful plug. And it's a really cool story, and it's really dark, and you don't expect it to be, and it's fitting, and the technology that's used as far as the way to show Ava, she's the AI lady person, and the acting was really cool, and it's so eerie and dark, but it keeps you on your toes. You don't know what's going to happen next, especially at the end, which we'll talk about later. So, I guess we talk about your guys' opinions. RJ?
Yes. RJ, what do you think?
Well, I came into the movies with no expectations, so I mean,
Smart. That's a smart thing to do most times.
Yeah, I when I saw like the cover, I was like, I have no idea what to expect. But I can't say like the ending really got me. But the movie overall was it was all right. I mean, I was very confused on like the whole plot, like where were we going with this?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think the whole like general idea of it like adds a lot of like details that you really have to pay attention to understand the movie. And I mean, I really liked it. Like the Nathan, I guess you could say like the bad guy in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think his like the actor, whoever that was, did really well of like using his part. And then also like Ava was she was something, you know. She definitely had a way of showing like what she like what her main goal was, and the way they used that in the movie was pretty cool. But like you said, it was very dark, and you never knew what to expect on the entire movie. So, but
what kind of movies do you like? What's your favorite genre?
I would like to call myself a funny person, so I like
Oh, comedy. Okay,
but also like action and adventure stuff like that.
Gotcha.
You have a favorite movie?
Comedy movie, it would be Neighbors with
Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
my favorite comedy movie.
I need to rewatch it. There's a few movies that made me laugh. That's not one of them. I haven't seen it, but super bad. That's maybe.
I like I just saw it on Instagram. This Is the End.
I've never watched.
It's the one where like it's like all the actors are playing themselves and they're stuck in like during the apocalypse's house. So it's like Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, all of them.
Yeah, I love they like those two are like one of my top.
Yeah.
James Franco.
Yeah, which he's under hot water, I think, right now.
He's been on the hot water. He just came out with a new movie. I think it's his first since his whole like scandal thingy.
But
yeah, Drew, your thoughts?
Yes. So I knew that this movie. I know you talked to me about how like you loved the movie and everything, and I've over the years I've heard just nothing but great things about it and everything, and I just knew, oh, this is like a really cool thing. It's also made by A24, which I feel like if we like were to dive into how many movies we talk that are from A24, we probably talk about a lot because they do a lot of movies. And I think that the film, I was a little confused to the start because, like I said, I thought it was in space for some reason. Because I didn't know what I was thinking like go into. But I think the most compelling thing about the film was the back and forth between Nathan and Caleb. Yes, Nathan and Caleb. I think that the way that Oscar Isaac plays his character was very, like, you didn't like him because of how kind of like much of a douche he was in some cases, but at the same time, like, he's not wrong in any of the cases, if that makes sense. And we'll get to that component later, but I think overall the tone and the visuals of the film are really good, especially for it being inside kind of just like one like little area, which the consistency of like how big this house is was kind of lost on me, because when we got a wide shot, it was just kind of like a little shack.
Yeah.
But once he walked in, it was like, which I assume it was underground, right?
I don't know if it was I think it was like just in the middle of the forest. It might have been. Oh yeah, because they had to go down a level.
That's a minor thing. I can't.
Yeah.
I think, but no, I thought the visuals and I thought the way the story kind of like unfolded was really intriguing, especially with those scenes between Caleb and Ava, because you kind of got a sense like of what was going on, and with her like telling him not to trust Nathan was kind of gave suspense to it. But we'll get into the specifics anyway. I guess to kind of, because there's a lot to unpack with this one, especially with the topics that it covers. I guess we'll just start with what do we think of the acting between Oscar Isaac? I don't know the other actor's name.
Dom, with the lady, the girl,
the guy, Caleb.
Dom Hanall. It's spelled Domhnall. So, how would you pronounce Dominal? Dominoes.
Sure.
I don't Domhnall Gleeson. So
that man was a simp.
He was
in this.
He was just
for an AI robot.
iRobot.
You just.
It didn't take too long either.
No,
hands and knees.
Third day, second day.
She didn't have to do much.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I guess I'll like say that like with the acting, did you think that like kind of the fact that this whole movie takes place over the course of a week, do you think that the events happened way too quickly in the span of a week? I think so.
For a guy, I mean,
for the way that his feelings towards her happened.
Yes, from a human perspective, but no, from a robot. And I'll explain it. Like, she's been studying how humans move, or studying how humans like react to stuff. So I think if she's gathering all the information, she knows how to get what she wants as quickly as possible. So for her to like work her magic, work her AI, mathematics and theories on Caleb, who's already I'm a loser, but who's already a dork. He'll go for any female attention. So for it to work that fast, I've seen guys turn over in a day. It could be a lot worse. But actually, this is pretty bad because this is
oh, it could be so much worse.
Yeah, it's a couple of hours.
Never know.
Yeah, man. So I mean, it's bad already because it's a robot, but
and I guess the plot, I guess we didn't really like specify in the plane. So yeah, like Caleb is brought, he's like chosen to come help with this, basically like the Bill Gates of like, because it's this website which is the most famous, basically the Google of that film, and the CEO or the creator of it, he hires him to be this test within a test to see kind of if this AI woman can like share the same connection feelings as real humans, and if like they see it as that. And so throughout the film we get a bunch of like sessions, I think is what it's called. Like with Ava, and I think at each day one session happens, and on the first session it's just kind of like we get to see her for the first time, and like we were just talking about, I think it's the second session where it's like he's like getting like, you can just tell he's like liking her, and I was just kind of like, oh my god, like really, I'd be more creeped out by her than anything.
She's behind the glass.
And and I don't know, it's just kind of a weird sight. But I think that, I don't know, I like the film. I guess I'll say that. I didn't really specify that. I really like the film and the way kind of the story keeps going, and like just how entertaining it was for really not a lot happening, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like, dare I say, the film is just slightly, and only slightly, overrated. Just a little bit. Not saying it's bad. I just think that, like, in terms of it, like, I just kind of felt like it happened, and, like, I don't know. I just don't know how to describe it. I just didn't. I think I hyped it up in my head too much because it's like this grand. To me, it felt like this grand like top 2010s movie.
Yeah.
And you didn't like Annihilation, which had more action?
Annihilation was just. I was just so tired that day.
You know,
I didn't feel like thinking so much. It's confusing. It's a confusing movie.
Watch it.
Annihilation. I really enjoyed it.
Hey, can I ask something about the movie though?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Um,
No, actually, can't.
No, actually, we're not. No, we're not. Yeah.
But so when I watch it, I have a soundbar in my room. So I would say like
That's
the
fire.
effects, like the sound effects during the movie, it was really good.
Yeah.
Fire.
Because like there's scenes where like Ava was talking to Caleb or whatever through the glass, and it's like you could hear like the. If I saw that in the movie theater, I would be like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like it really,
Like that surround sound.
yeah, like
No,
it
yeah.
gives you like a certain like suspense to what's going on in the movie
Mhm.
because it's already a creepy movie, you know?
Yeah. I think that the fact that it is, I don't know, those scenes where they're talking through the glass kind of, I don't know, the way they're shot just makes it seem very like important and very like intense, especially when she says like, oh, don't trust him. You're kind of, because they keep doing those
The
like
light-
lockdowns,
Yeah.
which we figure out Ava's causing those lockdowns, which yeah, like those kind of end up later. But I think that those moments really, the cinematography, like when it closes in on his face and like, you know, it's a real close up shot. I think those scenes really work. Like I said, I think Oscar Isaac was probably my favorite part of the film, just because like the way he would just kind of like call it how it is. It's like
Yeah.
like as soon as he meets him, he's like, "You're nervous. You literally, you know," and then he's just calling it how it is. But he's just kind of like just a douche. Like he's just a douchebag. Like, you know, I'll keep it clean. But like he's just kind of rude to him. He's just kind of mean. He's drunk all the time. In the 7 days, he got drunk 6 of the 7 days until the last day, which it would have been beneficial to Caleb. Which I'll stop detailing the plot as we go forward. But I guess I'll ask you guys, what do you think of like the cinematography in general?
I don't know what that word means.
I mean, like the shots, like
Oh.
how the film looked essentially.
The orange.
I
Aesthetic.
think it was pretty good. Like the whole, like the way they use like the lights and the colors and stuff. Like when the lockdown, it gets all red and stuff, and it comes back on. But there was scenes where like Caleb was like trying to watch when like he tore up her picture or whatever.
Yeah.
You couldn't even see like really what's going on because it's so far away.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean that was pretty good. But one thing I did notice, like a detail I think that probably could be important, is when Ava is talking to Caleb, you can see her reflection,
Mhm.
and I think that can go with like
They use a
her
lot
being
of reflections in this.
yeah, but I think that can go with like her kind of being like Two-Face, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
her being like, you know,
Oh yeah.
But-
But once we talk about that ending, that'll circle
Yeah.
back. Cam, what do you think of the cinematography?
I'm looking at the photos now, and man,
It's rather simple.
it is. But like in some of the shots, they have like that. I guess like you said, the harsh red when they do the shut offs and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you remember that it's A24, so they're gonna have some unique element of it. It's not as
In your face about it.
yeah, like Midsummer is or something
yeah.
like that. But it's subtle. But if you, I don't know, if you pick up on it, and the whole when they're tearing off what do you call it, flesh or skin,
The fake
the
skin.
fake skin. Yeah, that's like really, that's cinematic on its own because the whole, I don't know, the whole sci-fi or technology that's used, and it's cool that they have it look like this and so what's the word, sophisticated when the budget isn't that much. It's only 15 million.
Yeah.
Only 15 million, but like
No, yeah, that's nothing to me.
yeah, but it's A24, man. They can make a piece of trash look like gold.
That's true. Yeah, like I think there was like a bunch of shots where I noticed they were using a bunch of reflections, a lot of the time, and I don't really know if that alludes to, like you said, like how humans are kind of like two-faced, and how that ends up being the case for Ava by the end of it. Which I was talking to Cam when that ending happened. I was like, "Are you freaking serious?" And that'll kind of lead me to I mentioned it earlier about how like Oscar Isaac's character, because I was talking to Cam and I was talking to you, and I said that is Oscar Isaac like the bad guy, and in a sense, yes, like he is the bad guy. He's kind of like the one that's, but it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of hard to put into words, but it's like it's Oscar Isaac, but it's like if you were like the CEO of this like business and you were trying to do this thing that's like revolutionary, would you be, I don't know. He just felt so isolated, you know, and it felt like his feelings towards Ava were warranted in my head from his perspective, because it's like we don't know what she can do, you know, we're never shown what she can do.
What makes him the bad guy though? Just
I think that the reason, he's the bad guy is just because we follow Caleb, who sees him as the bad guy. But in the end, and I'll just say the ending. Let's just flat out say the ending because I keep going like, oh, we'll get to it. But like by the end of it, Caleb's kind of the idiot in a way because Oscar Isaac's character tells him like what Ava is doing, which is basically like acting like she likes Caleb so that he can help her escape. And by the end, she does exactly what Oscar Isaac says.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of gave me this thing like, okay, like he might have been a douchebag, but like he told him like everything, you know, flat out. And Caleb just kind of went emotion over, I guess, survival or whatever. Because if I was him, I'd be just begging to get out of there as soon as I possibly could. Because it was just a creepy vibe in that house. I don't know if you guys felt that. It was
like
just
the first time where like the power goes off or whatever, and she's like,
he's locked in.
yeah, like Nathan and well, Ava tells him that like, yeah, Nathan's like not what you think, don't trust him. Oh, the left. You know?
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
I'm out.
and yeah, I would have been like, yeah, I'll help you escape. And then he's like, last day, and I go, yeah, and just leave. What's she gonna do? She's
Like, I'll never
locked
see him
in.
again.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What'd you guys think of kind of the back and forth? Like, did you think Oscar Isaac's character was justified in his actions in his own like way?
I'd say so because he picked him out for an experiment, and I get he was lying at the beginning. He was like, "Yeah, you were chosen," but he was actually handpicked. Yeah, I want like the lowest ranked, somewhat mediocre, the most average person here, with a little geek in him.
And coding, because he's a coding person.
Man, coding, that's so,
which aids itself to the end because he unlocks all the doors and everything.
I guess he's wrong in that regard. But I don't know. I wouldn't say Oscar Isaac's like a terrible person. Like you say, he's a but I mean, I'm pretty sure every CEO's a Steve Jobs. You know, he had a whole thing about that, and I'm sure everyone else, they're jerks too. I can't name anyone else, but I don't know. He just wasn't that bad, and
because it's because it's all like under the envelope of like this test, and so and he tells him like he's like, yeah, like, do you think that she likes you or that, you know, she likes you just so you can get her out of here? And at first Caleb's like, oh my God, I can't believe you could say that. Yeah. But it's like, I mean, that's realistic. I mean, that's like, and that's exactly what she did by the end of it. RJ, did you notice kind of what was going through your head when they kind of had that moment when Oscar Isaac was like mentioning the escape and everything? Were you kind of like, okay, I can see both sides?
Honestly, in my opinion, during that scene, I'm still thinking like,
get out of there.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, like maybe he's still like he did lie to you about all this. He did do all this. He did do all that. I'm not thinking in my head like, dang, maybe Ava is gonna escape and like do what she did at the end. That wasn't like my mindset. I thought like when she escaped, she was gonna, but she, ended up not. But so in that moment, I'm still like, yeah, like he is a bad guy. Like,
So say you were Caleb, and you're saying you would have just escaped, but the helicopter doesn't come back. You can't go anywhere because you're in the middle of nowhere. You wait for this helicopter. So what are you realistically gonna do?
Honestly, in a realistic situation, I'm pretending to be completely on Nathan's side. I got that
until the last day.
Yeah, so like I'm out of there. I'm just trying my best.
Well, it's not like Oscar Isaac's been like creepy or anything. I mean, like
this is weird.
There's like awkward moments, but there's never a point where he's like like creep. There's never a point where he's like standing outside his door. Well, there was at one point, but it's not like he's stalking him or anything. He is watching him on cameras. Yeah, he was because like Caleb starts cutting himself.
Yeah, that was crazy.
What? Okay, I guess I'll ask you guys, what the was that? What does that scene mean? What is kind of the point of that? Metaphorical?
I think he was trying to see like, man, am I even real? Because I think this is after he found out that he found the bodies or he was looking in the mirror.
Those closets of all the other.
I think that was after that. He was trying to see like, man, am I even real? But he cuts for a minute, man.
It's deep too.
Deep, yeah.
But what's the justification of doing that? Because like, what makes him think he's not real? Because it's the 4th day of all this test, and like he's like losing his mind.
I guess it goes into that psychological thing where it's like you're in a room, you're in like the quiet. I think there's a thing where it's like you're in the quietest room. You can't survive more than like an hour in it before you start hearing stuff or like padded walls and you start going crazy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's that. Maybe I'm overthinking it. What do you? I don't know.
I just like he feels like maybe I am because he also did that. I don't remember what the girl's name was. I didn't speak English.
Yoko.
Yeah, so I think when she showed him like she wasn't real, he was like, oh, like maybe like
like
something not right.
Like isn't that crazy? Like you see someone like for 3-4 days, and then you realize like, oh, they're not real. So like,
Which I didn't think she was real at all, ever. Like, I kind of alluded, like, oh, yeah, this is just kind of his, like, maid or something like that. But I personally think the film would have been, like, more realistic if it took place over a longer period of time, you know? I feel like the 7 days just kind of make everything seem kind of like, oh, my gosh, so much stuff has happened. And where it was like, oh, like The Shining, I guess, is a good example, where it's like that happens throughout months. And so that makes kind of like the things that happen seem a little more realistic, where this one's like, this guy's cutting himself, he's like going nuts, and like falling in love with this robot in the span of like 4 days. Let's be real, like he like falls for it the 4th day. Yeah, I don't know, it just kind of seems a little quick for me. I don't know about you guys. I think we already mentioned that.
I mean, if you're a guy that gets like no action, right?
He's a coder, bro.
You know, you're messing around on the keyboard all day, like, this is the first time a lady show. I mean, do we know like he's a straight out loser? I mean, it's kind of implied.
We don't really see much of him before.
Yeah, but you can assume he's like a geek.
Yeah.
So if you're,
by the way he talks, yeah,
he's way like, if you're a guy like that, what's up?
No, and that's why I liked Oscar Isaac, because like he would say all this like algorithmic like bull crap, and then Oscar Isaac's like, I just want simple answers to my questions.
Yeah, like, I mean, you get a guy like that, and you get some attention. I mean,
Good luck. Good luck with that.
You know,
he also asks like, why did you give her a sexuality? You know, stuff like that. You're like, why not? He's like, why not?
You don't want to do.
Yeah.
And then he tells him, he's like, yeah, like you could like have sex with her, and it's like, you know,
Possibilities are endless.
and I could just see him. He's like, what? What's
For
he's like
the split second,
yeah,
like, oh, yeah, I
he's
can't.
like, oh, crazy.
Really?
No, this is literally like her if there was a human body.
That's true. I mean,
a little darker, but like, this is her. Have you seen her?
No.
Spike Jones,
kind of
2013.
depressing. It's very depressing.
Her?
A little depressing at the end.
Yeah, man, it's great. Is that A24? Her? I don't think so. It's just,
Would you guys consider this movie a horror movie? I don't think it is. I think it's like more science fiction. What do you think?
Yeah,
AJ?
I wouldn't think so either. Maybe a little bit of a thriller towards the end, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a horror.
yeah, it's categorized as thriller, sci-fi.
Yeah.
I don't think I do her.
Probably more of a, I wouldn't even say a mystery. I mean, I guess kind of a mystery, because you're trying to figure out like what the heck is actually going on.
Mm.
But what was your guys's? Because the moment where I was like, oh, is when we see Caleb go in there, code the thing, and we're told that like the escape is gonna happen at 10 o'clock, and he's gonna like go get her, or so the things will like unlock or whatever. And then, sorry, I might be mistaking something. Is that right? Like he said 10 o'clock, she's going to lock everything down, but instead of locking the doors, it's going to unlock it, and then they're going to escape.
Yeah.
And then Oscar Isaac character,
He was supposed to be drunk.
yes, he was. He was supposed to be drunk so he could get his key card,
Mm-hmm.
but then the thing happens, and so it opens, and then like he realizes that Ava now escaped her room and everything. What was your guys' reaction to that when you initially watched it? Because I was like, oh God, here we go.
Well, I'll say when she came out the room or whatever with the other, I keep forgetting her.
Kyoko?
Yeah, I was expecting them to end up, you know, killing him or whatever.
Really?
And I was like, you know, I can see that happening, but I mean, I was just expecting it to be a different kind of fight between them, if that makes sense. Because I mean,
Yeah.
just like slashing their faces and like, and you know, and it was really obvious when Ava was on the floor and then like he was gonna get stabbed in the back. But I thought that would be like the death. And then Ava comes
Yeah.
in and I feel like he just stopped. Like he had a little moment, he was just sitting there, standing there, and then she walks up and just stabs him.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, like
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought like once like she was outside and like they both saw Oscar Isaac's character thing, I thought this was gonna go like full horror mode and they were gonna start like running at him and like doing everything. But then he kind of just like overpowers her like again,
Yeah.
which I guess that was probably like on his part probably like a factor, like he didn't want to make them overly like strong.
Yeah.
So like in this occasion, because like to me it's like I feel like they're like a real person, but like they're realistically strong as a human. I don't know if you guys, because like there wasn't a moment where I felt like they were stronger than him.
Nah.
Nah, I just got him at the wrong
They
time.
stabbed him with a kiwasabi knife. I don't know what that. Where did that knife come from? Was I mistaken on where that? I think that went into him real easy. It felt like
That's what I liked though, because it was so
like just
like just go straight through like butter.
butter. No, yeah, I thought I was kind of like, I don't know, I was kind of expecting a little more from that interaction between Oscar Isaac and her. Like I thought it was gonna be a little more kind of like suspenseful, a little more tense, like a little more like they were gonna chase him, he's gonna be like running away, but it kind of just happens in that hallway,
Yeah.
you know. But no, I think, and then I almost say Kiwasabi, but Kyoko dies, he like bashed her in the head and she like fell down to the ground.
Yeah. Like face.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. What was your guys' opinion over the one scene where like he sees all the camera footage of all the past AI bots, and you see the one that's pounding on the door, like breaking their arms and everything?
Okay, I think that was probably like the most intense part of the movie.
That's what I was thinking.
So I was like, oh, like what's going on, you know? But it was just like I was kind of confused on that because I was just like I didn't really understand that.
I was a little too, just because like I don't know, like when he was watching it, I just kind of wasn't like too taken back, but he was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
And
I was just like, what's the?
Yeah, like you knew he was doing it.
Yeah,
It's
like, what's new? Like,
I think the part where she's like bashing her thing and she's like destroying herself of it, I think that was like, oh my God. And I guess that's when I realized how many he's like had.
yeah.
Like what, like 9 or like 8 of them, 10 of them?
Forgot.
Because it was like a whole closet full of them and everything.
I mean,
and I thought they were gonna come back to life for a second.
Really? They all start marching out?
Yeah,
That would have been...
that would have been crazy.
that would have been crazy.
Yeah, what I guess we can kind of fast forward because like I hate to say that there's like really not a lot to talk about. But you know, I think that the ending and kind of how like the story like progresses towards the end is kind of the most intriguing part of it. What were you gonna say, Cam?
I was gonna talk about that dance scene.
Oh my God.
The dance scene, man.
I was laughing at that because it's so when they're doing the choreographed dance and everything. He's like, "Join in, Caleb," and he's like doing the kicks and everything.
Absolutely killing it.
Yeah, killing it. I was like, oh my gosh. I think that goes to show that how secluded Oscar Isaac's character was.
Yeah.
I mean, they choreograph that dance and they do that a lot, I can tell.
This part, yeah, you said it's scary. I mean, what'd you say the house, how big it, what'd you say about the house? Like, how scary it was? Or how unwelcoming? You said this a while ago.
I can't remember. I think I said something just about like, you never really know, like, you're never given a full layout of the house. Kind of rooms, they're just in a different room. They're in a lab. You know, you're never given a full scope. So I feel like you kind of get a disorienting feel from it.
Yeah, I think that's because of I don't know why I just brought this up. I'm looking at the thing now. Just how like look at the walls and look at the lighting. That is not inviting at all.
Oh yeah, it's very like
Harsh.
It's like dress room. Yeah, the lighting there is not very kind at all to anybody. But
The ending.
yeah, the ending. I guess I'll just ask you, what do you think was going to happen in this ending, RJ? What was the idea? What was the expected end?
Okay, so when I think the part that like the ending starts for me is when Nathan is telling Caleb like, yeah, I figured you out. I did all this.
Yeah, left the camera in the thing. Yeah.
And then Caleb was like, well, I already did all the codes and stuff. And Nathan's like, what? And then like punches us. So I'm like, oh snap. So I'm thinking
Hard.
So I'm thinking, okay, like he's gonna go fight Ava and I'm not even gonna try them. And then I had a feeling that he was gonna die. But I thought Ava was gonna come back for Caleb and escape. Like helicopter was gonna get him, they was gonna live happily ever after, but that's not what happened at all.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised by that. And that's when like the whole plot, like the whole like how it all came to me, like, oh, like this is what she planned, you know. That's how it came to me.
And I'll preface by saying I am 100% sure that I did not pick up on like 700 metaphorical things that they talk about, like the chess, about like the thing, like, you know how they're testing it. They can't test it by playing chess. They have to test it by doing other stuff. And then that painting that they talk about. Yeah, I think there's so many because they show that at the end, and I think that it just went way over my head. We're in the 12th week of school. I cannot think of that on my own right now.
I didn't understand that. I mean, like I really try because I was like, oh, this is gonna be deep. Like this, I'm gonna have to remember this. And I was like,
yeah, I'm just like, holy cow. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of when I was watching it, you were literally seeing my reaction. I'm like, she's because she basically leaves Caleb, locks him in the thing, and just leaves him to die. Like he's just left to die in that place. And she basically does what Oscar Isaac's character said she would, which is just act like she's in love with Caleb, just so he can help her escape.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You could have at least like thrown him a bone or something. Like,
ah, man.
And what was up with the helicopter guy? What?
I was watching you, and I didn't want to say anything, but I think that's a different pilot.
Oh, do you?
I'm pretty
sure.
sure.
Doesn't know that it's.
Yeah, they don't know who they're picking. I just say, go here, pick this person up, and that's what I thought.
Because I thought she was gonna kill the pilot and just take the helicopter for herself.
we don't know though.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
She said,
Oh, how does she talk? I mean, like,
I don't know. She's programmed, but like, I don't know. I never thought she was gonna kill a pilot. Cause like, how's she gonna get home? He doesn't know what's going on.
"Oh, that's true."
do you think she could possibly be able to? Because like I mentioned before, like she's not like ultra strong, you know?
Oh yeah.
I feel like she couldn't overpower a real person, you know what I mean? Just because, unless she has the kiwasabi knife and like, you know, does all that stuff. But no, yeah, I was kind of like, oh, there she goes. And it ends with Caleb hitting it against the door, not able to get out. And I'm like, that sucks, because that sucks.
Man about to die. That sucks for you, dude. Yeah, that does.
He went on like a little week trip just to end up living there for the rest of his life.
Exactly. And I think that, 3 days left. Whenever, however long it takes to starve to death. But I think that like I said earlier about the house not being really shown in its entirety makes you just feel like, oh my God, like he has no way out. Because like I bet he doesn't even know how like big that whole place is.
Probably a bunch of under or secret doors.
Yeah.
And
Like a helicopter person dropped him off in the beginning. He's like, yeah, I mean, we're over there to stay right now, but I got to drop you off right here. Then you just walk.
Yeah. It seems very like creepy and secluded.
Yeah.
And even Oscar Isaac says like, yeah, there's some doors that you can't even get into, like your key card that won't let you get into. And I'm just like, this is weird. And it almost makes me wonder like, what are the other rooms? Like what does a tour of this place look like? Because I bet it's pretty.
probably like an eyes wide shut thing.
Probably, honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. That was yikes. But I don't know. I thought it was I guess, what do you guys think? Like, how does the ending kind of serve the story, the rest of the film?
I'll say that it shows how far AI could go, and like how quick
They can manipulate.
right, yeah, like you can, that's the whole scare about AI now. Like they're going to develop human feelings and they're going to take over the world. We saw an AI take over a house of 3. You got Caleb, Nathan, and then Kyoko, another AI. So if they're smart enough, they could just take over. I don't know, just playing into the whole like robots are going to take over the world one day.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. That's what I took out of it. RJ, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, like I would say the same thing, but like, yeah, it really shows you like they are smarter than you think, like thinking about it, she's only met 2 people ever, and she was smart enough to manipulate only the second person she's ever talked to do something like that, and be smart enough to not even bring her with, So I was just like, wow, like, and you think like, I know it can't happen in real life, hope not, but like wow, like they just living among us, like wow, like she's just out there, and no one even knows that she's not real because she looked completely real when she put on her full skin, all that, put on the dress. You're like, wow, she's like a real person now.
I think that last scene was probably one of my favorite scenes. It's like the last shot where you see all the shadows of people walking by, and then just see her just stop. I think that goes to show kind of how like you just said, like how now she's. I found it interesting that kind of the whole character of like Kyoko, because it's kind of. Because like we've established it before, like he kind of like did away with the other ones and everything. But why do you think that he has like Kyoko there? It seems kind of because he also doesn't like pay mind to her most times. She kind of just like looms around and everything.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of her? Seemed like a weird addition, didn't you think?
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. For the whole movie, I really didn't see no purpose in her. I also. Unless I'm tripping, but I did see a scene of them making out. And I was like, wow. But maybe it was just so he didn't feel completely alone, because I mean, he didn't always go to A, but he didn't like, so maybe like he did need, like he was living in isolation with no one else. And even though she didn't talk, like he just needed someone, because she was like laying in his bed or something like that while he was watching. So like maybe he slept with her too. Like he just needed something else around, which is very creepy. But
do you think it's one of those things where it's like Oscar Isaac's character like didn't feel like he could connect with real people as much as like his own creations?
That's where I was going to. You can't tell a girl what you're actually doing. You have fake robot. I mean, you can, but like, what are the chances she's gonna like be okay with that and have like lady robots walking around? So I think that's as comfortable as he and a partner will go. But that's my take.
It's a very bleak ending. It's very, especially because Caleb, because like, yeah, he's stupid. I mean, he's smart, but like his decision to kind of help Ava is really dumb, because there was no moment in my mind where I was like, oh, the movie's going to end with them like buying a house and what does them escaping look like at all? Like what? I don't know.
Yeah.
You just really feel for him though.
Dude, yeah. Well, especially with how it goes, because like we're led to believe he's just locked in there and he's just gonna die, and that's what happens. Not that we see it, but like that's what we're alluded to. And it's just kind of like, imagine being in a locked house, red lights, and you just got to sit there and just And the last shot of him, he just looks at him, he's just like,
Over.
yeah, he's just like, well, that's it. And it's just like, you gotta feel so stupid too.
That's scary, man. Like, to think you had it all, and then just for it to flip, and then you literally can't do anything. You can't get out the room, can't get out the house.
Yeah.
Man,
And it's the last day.
and it's the
And
last.
you're gonna leave.
And it's crazy because if he were to ever get out, he doesn't know where he's going. He can't
He
leave.
has no clue where he is. Like, yeah.
You can't use the phone scanning.
I don't
No.
know. I think they shut down the whole.
Yeah. Because the lockdown shuts down everything.
Bro's SOL. He can't do anything.
It's like, honestly, like I mean, God. I mean, in a different film, like Ava by the end of it is the bad guy.
Mhm.
Because when you look at it like through Oscar Isaac's character, and that's why I find it so interesting because it's similar in the eyes of like Cloverfield Lane,
I've seen it.
where it's like they're isolated in this one place, and it's kind of like, oh, this guy's the bad guy, and it's like
Mhm.
pulling like tensions that way. But it's like Oscar Isaac he's not a great guy, but I don't think he was the villain by the end of the movie
Yeah.
because yeah,
He was trying to. He wasn't protecting him, but he knew the limbs that he could go to.
Yeah.
He was trying to warn him.
avoid what happened.
Yeah, like.
And sorry, I mean,
I was gonna say at a point it's like all three of them were in the wrong. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
You feel for all of them, but at the same time you're like they're all doing something wrong. You know?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And who is Caleb to tell Nathan that he's wrong when he's like paying his bills?
Yeah.
You know.
exactly.
So
And it's the biggest thing for me is like, oh my God, like she is like able to lock down everything and basically like lock down everything.
yeah.
And like that's when you watch the movie and you realize the end, you're like, Caleb probably should have told Nathan that. Like he should have told Nathan that because not only that shuts down the cameras, that shuts down like everything. And
Yes,
so like I was thinking, I was like, that seems like an overpowered thing that might come back to bite us in the end, and it does. And it's just like, oh my God. I guess which this is like an off thing, but the poster of this movie, I wish it wasn't that
the black one.
the one where it's just her looking. I'm like, I have no clue. I wish because I feel like something like this could have such a cool creative poster, playing off like the reflections like we talked about, and it's just kind of like underwhelming for
Her
such a visual.
butts out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of freaky.
Yeah, I didn't. That's why I was really like I don't know.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know what to expect. And I mean, I guess in some ways that's a good thing, but I think that like the film is so like visually cool. I think
What does
that
that even mean?
What,
Ex
Ex
Machina.
Machina?
The machine. Try that machine in Spanish or something.
Maybe
Uh,
give us a history lesson on.
what the?
I think it means something else, but I do not know what it means. But
in English.
RJ, what would you rate this out of 5
Oh
stars?
my gosh. Oh wait. Do Ex Machina is Latin for God from the machine.
Oh, there you go.
That's not Deus. It just says Ex Machina, not Deus Ex Machina. I'm just gonna say it's the machine. But yeah, what'd you rate it out of 5?
Out of 5, I will give it like a 3.5.
Oh,
Sorry.
what the?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Out of 3 and a.
Can I give a reasoning?
No.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like I told you earlier, I'm more of a comedy action type.
Gotcha.
So, but watching this, it feels like if like some movies, I feel like you can watch like half the movie, like that's a good movie. You know,
Mhm.
you watch half of this movie, you're like, I don't know. You know, so you have to finish this movie
Yeah.
to understand the movie. If that
Like
makes sense.
You probably say like there's nothing. It demands your focus and
Yeah.
attention the whole time.
Which is like, I mean, that's what movies like supposed to do. You know, they
Yeah.
want you to get through the whole movie, but like at a point, it's also could be like if I was like a type of person to be like, this is boring, I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
Like that's what I would do in that situation. I'm like, yeah, I'll just turn this because I mean, this just didn't interest me the whole time, you know, because I'm just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I have no idea what like is going to happen. So, but I mean, it was like since I finished the movie, I can say like, oh, okay, it was pretty good. You know, it had a good plot twist, I think, because you're not
Yeah.
expecting that
Yeah.
at all. And I love movies with a plot twist, so I think it works out.
I think that I like the twist because it's a twist that like is already the possibility of it is presented to you,
Yeah.
but because of everything that happens before, you're like, there's no way that could happen. So it's more like, what's the word? Ironic or tragic when it actually ends up the way that it's laid out. And I was like, oh crap, that's really what happened.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if it was one of those things where that just happened with no like told thing that you know, I feel like it would have been just like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what would have happened. You know what I mean? So I enjoy it. I probably would give it a 3. I probably give it a 3.5 as well
Yeah.
out of 5. It wasn't my favorite movie. I loved everything about it. I just think that, personally, I think this is a movie I might have to come back to
Okay.
kind of get when I'm well rested, well rested in the summer, and I've had time not to deal with all the bull crap that I got to deal with right now. I might give it another watch, and maybe I'll appreciate it a little more.
Yeah, that's what I told one of my friends. I was like, this. I feel like this movie you have to come back to because, like you said, like the metaphors and stuff, you don't really get. You know? Yeah, like so you have to really sit down and watch it again.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Since you're into, more so comedy action film, was it kind of like a burden to watch until the end, or was it like just okay to get through?
If I'm completely honest, I tried to watch it this morning after my 8 a.m. I don't know if it was because I had 8
That's the
a.m.
problem right there.
I don't know if I had 8 a.m. That was the reason, but I did fall asleep while watching this.
Oh,
And then I'm not gonna lie, I tried to watch it last night because you told me last night, and I tried to watch it. I went to sleep again.
got some good sleep.
I got some good sleep,
That's right.
but like I wouldn't say it was like a burden because I'm also a guy that just likes a good movie. You know what I mean? It's like I just like a good movie.
Yeah, there's not a lot happening to keep your attention the entire time, so that makes sense.
If it's like I feel like it's a movie that like I will have in a night where I'm not doing anything, I'm like, I'll watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like
I got
if I go to sleep on it, I go to sleep on it. I don't really care. But I wouldn't be so like I gotta watch this. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
I think that's why it took me so long to watch it, just because I heard it was like really, really good, but I knew it was like sci-fi, and sci-fi is kind of not like my favorite genre. So it wasn't one of those movies where it's like, what's a movie that's like you have to watch this now? From recent
Barbie.
memory. Like Barbie, like Oppenheimer, for example. It's not one of those movies where it's like you need to watch this now because it's like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's why I put it off for 10 years.
Man, that is for all those that love it, I'll do us justice. I'm giving this a 4.5, maybe even a 5, to be honest. Because the time period that it came out on, you guys are laughing at me, man. The time period that it came out in, 2014, and we're 10 years later, and this stuff is actually happening. Like, it's crazy.
To a degree.
It's gonna get there, and it's so unfortunate.
I guess the lesson is don't be easily swayed by a robot.
Hey, man.
Fall in love with you.
Siri's listening. Siri here's all. Look right here. All I had to say was her name. She's on standby, but I don't know. I 4.5.
I would recommend it though.
Absolutely.
It's a very good film. I think that if you're a fan of kind of the thought-provoking thing that makes you question if you're alive or not, or if you're a real human and everything, you'll love it. The performances are really good. Everything's pretty like
It's not even that long.
Yeah,
Hour 50.
doesn't feel like it though. I can say that. But yeah, I would definitely give it a watch. I think it's probably one of the movies from A24 that there's not like one thing I can say is like bad about it.
You just wanted more.
I don't know. I just don't think it's my genre. I don't think sci-fi is my genre just because of all like to me, like all the metaphorical stuff kind of just goes over my head, to be honest. So I think that's kind of the reason I watch the dumb movies, Cam. That's why I watch that's why I watch Oppenheimer, where everything's told to me, and and if the stuff happens, I could just go move by as Robert Downey Jr., whatever. So yes,
That's fine. I guess we'll accept that.
that's okay. We'll argue off camera.
That's fine.
But yeah, RJ, thank you so much for coming on and talking about this movie with us. I hope you had a really good time.
Oh yeah.
Hope we didn't put you to sleep like Ex Machina did. No,
Oh nah. Only not you guys. You know, that was really good.
we're special. We're special.
good.
You got at 8 a.m. tomorrow?
10 a.m. So
Oh, 10. Okay, you're good. You're good.
I
then.
might have to watch it to go back to sleep.
Yeah, I go back get some good 8 hours in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that has been our review over Ex Machina. Thank you again, RJ. We appreciate you coming on here.
Of course.
That has been the Two Dudes Talk Movies podcast. I'm Drew.
I'm Cam.
And we will see you next week for our next episode, whatever that might be upon. We do not, it will be over Midsummer. Sorry, I just forgot we talked about this before the show. We'll have Ashanti Thomas on next week to talk about Midsummer.
She's our first returning guest.
She is.
She's the first. She was on an audio. What did we do on audio?
With Donnie. No, that was Ryan, or not Ryan, Rob. We'll figure it out. And if she cancels on us, that will make it very awkward.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll see you next week with her to talk about Midsummer. See you then.
No, wait. I Tanya. She did I Tanya with us.
She did do I, Tanya.
She did.
Don't leave just yet, please, for the love of God.
But yeah.
Now we will see you next week.
All right. See you. Bye.